You are trapped with 8 of your friends in a high-security government facility. Escaping from one room to another, you come across a room with 5 doors, and there is only one safe exit. To make matters worse, a vicious mass murderer named Murmurs is out to get you. This man is dangerous. If you look him in the eye, you could fall victim to his evil mind powers. 2 of your friends have already made eye contact with him, meaning there are 2 traitors in your group. Unfortunately, you don't know who has turned. You need to escape, but you don't have much time. In fact, you only have one shot. You or your friends will only have time to check one exit before going back to tell the others it's safe. How will you split up your group to find the right exit?
You want a war? We'll give you a war.
Next week, we'll be back with a brand new season. Hope you're excited. I know I am. Hopefully way less mathematics. You need to divide yourself in 4 groups. You just came in from one door, so you can forget about that one and focus on the other 4. You know you have not turned, so you can check one path alone. The other 8 needs to be divided in 3 groups. 2 groups of 3 and 1 group of 2. If a group of 3 disagrees, you know 1 or 2 traitors are in it. If no group shows any discord, then you know they are both in the group of 2. With luck, you can choose the right door and can leave all your friends to their fate. Mr. Kent, a farmer from Kansas, is trying to figure out how to fence off the most space while using the least amount of fencing. He hires an engineer, a physicist, and a mathematician to come up with a solution. Mr. Edge, the engineer, creates a circular fence and assures him there couldn't be a better solution. Mr. Luther, the physicist, says he should make a long line and fence off half of the Earth. But it's Miss Ivy, the mathematician, who finds the best way to do it. What did she come up with? You get to solve that one. She fenced herself off in a very small square and declared she was out of the fenced space. Intense Eyes Aduba thought she had been saved from execution. But the guard has made a huge mistake. He can't let her get away with murder that easy. So he decides to test her one last time.
Wait, that ain't fair. I will cut you. I will cut you.
2 other inmates are brought in and shown a bag containing 4 marbles, 3 black and 1 orange. He blindfolds Intense Eyes and picks a marble at random, placing 1 on each of the prisoners' heads. The first inmate to guess the color of the marble on their own head passes the test. The others look clueless, but Intense Eyes whispers the color of her marble. How did she work it out? And what was it? After a pause, Intense Eyes knew the answer straight away. How? The other inmates hesitated and didn't say a thing. It meant they both saw 2 black marbles on the other inmates' heads. If they'd seen an orange one, they would have deduced their own was black. So, because the others didn't say a thing, Intense Eyes knew she was wearing the 3rd black marble, leaving the orange one in the bag. Riddle me this. Stuck in the reverse world. 12, Finn, Caleb, and Gaten need to escape to the real world through a dark tunnel. The tunnel is so small, they can only go 2 at a time. Plus, they can't see a thing without the only flashlight they have. So, one of the 2 need to be carrying it at all times. 12 takes 1 minute to cross. Caleb takes 2. Finn is slower, taking 4 minutes. And Gaten carries a huge bag of snacks for the group, so he is the slowest of all, taking 7 minutes in total. The flower monster is going to get them. How do they get through the tunnel in just 14 minutes? Twelve and Caleb cross together, taking 2 minutes. 12 comes back alone, making it 3. Finn and Gaten then cross together, making it 7 minutes. Caleb returns with the flashlight. That's 12. All that's left is for 12 and Caleb to return together in the last 2 minutes. Whew! That was a close one. A secret wizard school sorts their students into 2 houses, Huffleclaw and Slithendor. Students are able to choose their house if and only if they can prove that they're smarter than their teachers by passing the following test. 10 students are lined up. Each student can see the ones in front of them, but not the ones behind. They also can't see the color of their own hat. Huffleclaw hats are blue and yellow, and Slithendor hats are red and silver. Teachers, being nice, allow them to talk among themselves for 5 minutes to come up with a plan. They will grant the students' wishes if 9 out of 10 can guess which hat they have on their head, starting from the student at the back of the line. However, they can't say anything else but Huffleclaw or Slithendor. What kind of plan should the students come up with? The first student is key because they are the only one who can see all of the hats in front of them. So they are the only one that can sacrifice their own guess to signal all the other students. They need to make sure the others know which color adds up to an odd number of hats. Each student will then be able to work out the color of their own hat by counting out how many there are in front of them. Take this example. The first student says Slithendor. That means they see an odd number of Slithendor hats in front of them. If the next person still sees an odd number of Slithendor, it can't be their own. If they see an even number of Slithendor, then it's their own color. And by saying it, they are signaling the others that now they should be looking for an even number of Slithendors. and so on until every student has guessed what hat they are all wearing. Now, that wasn't so hard, was it? Sir Ian, a wizard, escaped his imprisonment from Isengard and wanted to join Fanghorn. He needed to cross the bridge, which would take him 6 minutes to go from one side to the other. The guard was a pro micro-napper and slept for 3 minutes before waking up and doing a full round of the bridge. With this system, he could actually guard it 24/7. He had very strict orders to send people back to where they came from. Sir Ian wasn't able to use magic or eagles. How did he cross the bridge? Sir Ian only had to go past the guard while he was sleeping and pretend he was going in the opposite direction. When the guard woke up, he sent him back in the right direction, not knowing he was helping him escape. Barry is trying to beat his running record. He places 22 flags, one on each mile, and asks his friend Caitlin to measure the time it takes him to run from pole to pole. His time from the first pole to the 12th is 24 seconds. Barry passes the 22nd pole and expects his time to be 44 seconds, but Caitlin's timer is nearly at 46 seconds. His speed was consistent throughout the entire race. How is this possible? Why did it have to be mathematics again? He actually completed it in 45 and 9/11 seconds because he started from pole number 1. The distance between pole number 1 and 12 is 11 miles. So it took him 24 divided by 11 seconds for 1 mile. Multiply that by 21 miles and you get 45 and 9/11 seconds. Whew! Can we stop with the mathematics now? The Grand Overbook Hotel is quite special. It offers an infinite number of rooms, and it hosts an infinite number of guests forever and ever and ever. One of the guests, Jack, seems desperate to get away from his family because he's afraid he might kill them. Since there are an infinite number of rooms, there should be an empty room for him. But Mr. Gravy, the receptionist, doesn't know which one. Mr. Gravy can make one announcement, and only one, to all of his guests. What should he say to make room for Jack before anything goes awry? To find out, Mr. Gravy only had to make an announcement wherein he asked everyone to move one room up. Once everyone had made the switch, one thing was certain. Room number 1 was available for Jack. But right after Jack had settled in, an infinitely long plane filled with an infinite number of passengers landed in front of the Grand Overbook Hotel. All of the passengers requested an infinite number of rooms for the same night. Once more, Mr. Gravy still has no way of knowing which rooms are free and which aren't, especially after everyone already moved once. To comply with the demand, Mr. Gravy can make one last announcement to all his guests. What exactly should he say to ensure an infinite number of rooms are made available for an infinite number of passengers from the plane? This is a hard one. Until he asked each guest to move to the room with a number doubled from their previous room. Jack was given room 1, so he moved to room 2. If someone had room 237, they would move up to room 474. Notice that if you double any number, they become an even number. All odd-numbered rooms were now available for the new guests. That's a lot of new people for Jack to murder.
The big day has finally arrived. It's the World Cup final, Uruguay versus Argentina. Before kickoff, Uruguay looked worried, and with good reason. Leo is the best player they have ever seen. That small man has magic in his feet. It's 11 minutes into the match, and oh! Leo suffers a nasty tackle from Diego. His right knee is busted up pretty bad. By the 33rd minute, no one has yet scored a goal. Leo shoots, but oh! He misses as Luis bites his neck. 77 minutes in, both Leo and Edinson try to head the ball, but collide instead. Ouch! Leo takes a bad knock to the head. In the 93rd minute, the ref gives a penalty, and Polga takes it. But wait! Oh no! Leo's down! Leo has collapsed on the pitch. Edinson is trying to resuscitate him. He's giving him mouth-to-mouth. But it's too late! Leo is dead, and this is a huge loss for the Argentinians. The linesman checks his water bottle and finds it has been poisoned. It looks like Leo Polga has been murdered. But who did it? If you had poisoned someone, would you bite them? Or try to resuscitate them with mouth-to-mouth? The only one who didn't risk being contaminated was Diego. Riddle me this. You are under arrest. Unless you want to bribe me. Click on that subscribe button and we'll call it square. Yes, I know it's round.